Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. Today, we're breaking down week 1 of the National Football League. We will go through all the Sunday and Monday matchups. We're going to give you our plays of the week as it's football time today.
We're here. We made it.
Eagles and Cowboys are playing. Maybe right now as you're listening, maybe they already played and you're listening during the Chiefs-Chargers game. I don't know, but football is here. Professional football. College football's been here. But we are in the start of it. Week 1, baby. I am excited.
Yeah.
That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up Podcast. You know where to find us, at DraftedUp_pod. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go for it. But search Drafted Up Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen or watch your podcast. We're there. Like, rate, subscribe, review, follow. We appreciate it. Nicholas, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, man. Just ready for this game to start. I'm hyped. Made it through the workday, and football's here, dude. We're good. Thursdays, football. Mondays, football. Sundays, football. College football on Saturday, baby.
Saturdays, yeah, Fridays. Sometimes Friday. College football, some games on Friday.
Sometimes. Yeah, college football runs Fridays for sure.
Yeah,
we're here.
Games all the time. Yeah, this is gonna occupy the life for the next couple of weeks. All right. Do we want to dive right into our plays of the week, or do we want to do week 1 and end with plays of the week? What you want to do?
Hey, man, it don't matter to me, dude. I'm just here for a good time.
All right, we'll start with our plays of the week that way, because if we end with it, you kind of already know the general gist of how we feel about the players if we do it in the midst of the game. So we're going to do the plays of the week a little differently. Usually last year we just did the guys, quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, and called it a day. That was it. This year we're going to actually keep track of the fantasy points they score, and we're going to kind of go head-to-head, see who puts together the best plays of the week throughout the fantasy season, so make it a little more fun this go-round. So why don't we start it off at quarterback? My play of the week this week is New England's Drake May. They're taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Anyone who's listened to the podcast now for the last year plus knows how I feel about Drake May. I loved him as a prospect coming out of North Carolina. I loved him last year on the Patriots. I thought he showed great poise as a rookie. Circumstances weren't great for him. Bad offensive line. But he still balled out. He performed. He showed that he had it, and it showed why he was a highly drafted prospect. During the offseason, New England went out. They attempted to improve their offensive line. They brought in Will Campbell. They got Drake Mason weapons. Stephon Diggs expected to be out there week 1. They drafted Kyle Williams. I don't think he has a ton of involvement early on, but they're building the pieces there for Drake May. Travion Henderson, drafted in the second round as well. The pieces are there for Drake May. Las Vegas, kind of up in the air. We don't know what kind of team they're pulling, but defense last year was not great for the Raiders, and this year they didn't do a ton to improve it, so I'm going to bank on Drake May with the rushing upside, the improved offense, the improved head coach with Mike Vrabel, and maybe this is just a little bit of me just sticking with one of my guys. I have Drake May in a couple leagues, but I think Drake May has QB1 performance week 1. I think you can comfortably start him versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like May a lot this week versus Oakland for sure. Well, Vegas. You brought up about how Drake May's your guy, and maybe it's because you have him in a bunch of leagues. Well, my start of the week is a guy that's repping your sweatshirt right there, brother. I have him in 7 of my 8 redraft leagues, so I have him in almost every single league, and it's J.J. McCarthy. I'm so in on J.J. this year, dude. The system thing, you guys produce top 12 quarterbacks every single year. It does, like, points per game, that is, obviously. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is between Cousins, Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins. Yeah, there's literally, the list goes on and on. You guys were just slotting in guys off free agents, literally. And they still had top 12 weeks in your offense. And you guys picked up Thielen, so I'm not necessarily worried about Jordan Addison not being out there the first 3 games. I think Thielen's going to slide in wonderfully there. Chicago allowed like the 8th most yards secondary-wise last year. They didn't allow many touchdowns. They're actually last in touchdowns. So I don't know how many touchdowns JJ is going to have, but he's got Justin Jefferson out there. He's got TJ Hawkinson. He's got the newly added Adam Thielen, a phenomenal offensive line. I'm willing to bet on my guys, and I'm starting him over Dak in a good amount of leagues this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not huge on Dak versus Philly. That's a crazy secondary. First game of the year. Defense is usually off to a hotter start than offenses. So I'm not as in on Dak, but man, I'm in on JJ a lot this week. So give me JJ versus Chicago Monday night to end week 1, baby. Your quarterback's the last guy to go, and I love to have that. Round out the week, big points for JJ McCarthy this week.
Yeah, a lot of fantasy relevant names in that Monday night game. So that'll be a good one to end the week there for sure. I love the support from you for JJ McCarthy, a guy who you were on the fence on during the draft process, but everything fell into place for him here.
Yes, sir.
Running back, I'm going against a tough matchup here, but I have faith in the player. I'm taking Tennessee's Tony Pollard. They're playing at Denver. Denver, you've heard us talk about them. They have one of the best defenses, maybe the best defense in the National Football League. But this is Tony Pollard's backfield. No Tyjae Spears, and the depth chart behind him, not really threatening. Doesn't scare you away from Tony Pollard. I know you might look at the matchup and think, man, Pollard versus Denver, that's tough. Like, do I really want to put him in? And I think you'll be content. I think you're going to have running back 2 floor with maybe a top 12 finish, but I think you're looking at a top 15, top 20 range here for Pollard. He can catch the ball. And Cam Ward, his first start, it's going to maybe be a tough one, but, he could be dinking him off to Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard has some juice. He looked really good last year for Tennessee. I expect that to continue here, as he's probably the focal point of this offensive attack, as, Brian Callahan's going to want to establish the run and, make teams compete and starting off hot. And that starts with Tony Pollard. So I think the matchup is scary, but I think you could put Tony Pollard in your lineup and you'll be very happy come the end of the game on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I like Pollard a lot, and it's a rough defense for sure, but he's the back in that offense, and he's going to get a ton of work with Tyjae Spears out. Cam Ward is obviously his first start, so they're not going to ask him to do an abundance of stuff. It's going to be very simple for Cam Ward probably on Sunday. So, I think Pollard's going to be heavily involved, and I agree that my guy's also going to be heavily involved because it's James Conner versus the New Orleans Saints. I expect Arizona to get up very early in this game because I don't think the Saints have much of an offense at all. And I'm willing to say the third quarter and the fourth quarter are just spent grinding the clock. Hey, James Conner heavy ran offense week 1. Just get out with the W. You don't have to do anything special or flashy because it's versus New Orleans. It's not going to be a high scoring game. It's not going to be a shootout. I fully expect a very boring game, and I expect James Conner to have a lot of points and a lot of volume. I expect around 20, 24 carries around that area. Mm-hmm. And with his yards per carry, dude, it's easily a 100-yard game on the horizon for James Conner. And if he gets into the end zone, a couple dink and dunks because he's going to get a couple catches as well. Full point PPR, wouldn't surprise me if James Conner is top 5 back easily this week.
Yeah, there's also touchdown upside there for Conner to at least get two tutties on the board for him. So yeah, real good pick, James Conner in Arizona. Probably one of my favorite players for the Cardinals there. Wide receiver, I'm also getting a little frisky. I'm doing Cleveland's Jerry Jeudy versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Smart.
I've been in on Jeudy all offseason. Joe Flacco is playing week 1. This game should be a shootout. Cincinnati's defense, not great. You could even say they're the worst. But we'll see if there's any sort of improvement there. But the Bengals offense, high powering. And if they get off to a hot start, score early on Cleveland, Browns are going to have to be passing. We don't know what the Browns running attack is going to look like, how effective Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson are going to be. So I expect a ton of work from Joe Flacco. And Jerry Jeudy is the number 1 wide receiver of this crew. So I think that is a great matchup for him in Cincinnati. Jeudy, he finished the year hot. As you remember, he was one of the best wide receivers down the stretch, and he probably won a ton of teams championships. And his stretch run, like if there was a competent play at quarterback, no disrespect to Joe Flacco, but if they had like a true blue up and coming established quarterback, Jerry Jeudy's probably a top 15 drafted wide receiver, but with the quarterback questions and the fact that Joe Flacco is 40 years old, Jerry Jeudy fell in drafts. So you might be looking at that like, Cleveland, do I really want to play him? I think he's a great flex play this week at the wide receiver position against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, for sure. Bengals defense, you start everyone that's playing against them. So solid pick for sure. I'm going with a guy that's in a complete opposite game compared to James Conner. James Conner's game is going to be boring as hell. And my next guy is Jameson Williams, Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. That game's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be insane. I'm expecting a lot of points. Jameson Williams missed one of the games versus Green Bay last year, so he only played once. He went 5 for 80, which is a really good game. Get a touchdown in there, and you're super excited for that game with Jameson Williams. Week 1 last year, though, Jameson Williams had 9 targets, 5 catches, 121, and a tutty. I'm expecting something very similar in a high-scoring shootout game. I fully expect Jared Goff to lean heavily on his targets, being J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, maybe Montgomery. I don't think as much week 1. I think it's going to be a lot of Gibbs. But I expect all those guys to cook in a very big shootout. I'm starting all my lines. I'm starting most of my Packers. I'm all in on that game. I think it's going to be arguably the highest scoring game of the week.
Yeah, Vegas has it projected as tied for third most on the over/under for total points. Sense. So Vegas agrees with you there. Finally, tight end. I'm banking off Drake May, and I'm going with Hunter Henry. The week 1 machine versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Hunter Henry has constantly produced week 1. He gives the Patriots wide receiving game probably the biggest touchdown upside, even with Steph Diggs there. I think Hunter Henry in the red zone against a team who's got a shaky court linebacker. Let's not forget, Hunter Henry led the Patriots last year in targets, yards, all the important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still there. They extended him. He got paid. He's the most boring dude in the National Football League. He doesn't excite you. But week 1, you need touchdown upside from a tight end. I don't know how many other guys give you as much touchdown upside as Hunter Henry. So I'm going to play the roulette. I'm going to take the gamble, and I'm going to go with Hunter Henry against Vegas. Pair him up with my play of the week at quarterback in Drake May.
Yeah, I like to stack a lot. I like that a lot. And Hunter Henry goes off back-to-back years.
And
week 1, Hunter Henry's a monster week 1, for sure. Even week 2.
Also picked him up in our home league. I drafted Jonnu Smith, injury questions, and then I just don't trust Arthur Smith. Hunter Henry was out there. So I made the pivot to Double H, and I'm feeling much better about it than plugging in Jonnu Smith.
I agree. I think Henry's a better start than Jonnu for sure. And I even think you're going to get a good week 2 out of him. He's very consistent the first couple weeks, and my guy last year was not very good to start the year. Week 1, he had like 2 points. Week 2, it was like 5, and then a couple of goose eggs, to be honest. But my tight end's Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens, and no Isaiah Likely week 1. He's already been ruled out, so that's a huge plus for Mark Andrews. There's no competition for that guy in the tight end room. I expect him to eat a ton of red zone work, and it's versus Buffalo, so kind of the same things versus Jameson Williams. This game, there's going to be a bunch of points. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's arguably the best matchup of the week. Buffalo, Baltimore, arguably AFC Championship. They got to be the 2 front runners, them in Kansas City. I expect Lamar to eat, obviously. So who's he going to go to? His most reliable target. Yeah, Zay Flowers, he loves. But when Lamar needs to cook, he leans heavily on Mark Andrews, especially in the red zone. And it's not going to change now because Isaiah Likely's gone. Hey, man, Mark Andrews is a sneaky start, I think, all season. It's not going to surprise me how well he does week 1.
Mark Andrews, not a Theo guy, for sure.
No, for sure.
Isaiah Likely does help. I ended up bumping him in my rankings because of the Likely injury, but week 1, you look for that touchdown upside. Like I said with Hunter Henry, Mark Andrews is the red zone guy in Baltimore in the passing game. Sure. And like Lamar doesn't run a ton in the red zone. He doesn't score a bunch of rushing touchdowns. Obviously, Derrick Henry is the focal point of the red zone offense, but in terms of the passing game, it is Mark Andrews. Bateman's more of the long shot, deep throw. touchdown guy. Zay Flowers doesn't really score a ton, so Mark Andrews' history shows that is Lamar's favored option in the passing game in the red zone, and that is the highest of the over-unders for points.
Which makes sense. And this game could go very
week.
similar to week 1 last year, where if Baltimore's down, they're not going to lean on Derrick Henry. We've seen that a couple times last year. They'll just throw Justice Hill in there because they're passing a bunch. And if they're passing a bunch and they're down, Mark Andrews becomes the legitimate red zone threat because Henry's not going to be on the field. They need to score quick. They don't have time to just keep handing it off, grinding the clock. They won't be doing that. They'll be passing heavily. And if they're passing heavily and they're down, I would almost guarantee a Mark Andrews touchdown.
There we go. All right. Our plays of the week locked in. Drake May, Tony Pollard, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Henry for me. Nick over here has got J.J. McCarthy, James Conner, Jameson Williams, and Mark Andrews. Those plays of the week are brought to you by our friends and affiliates over at Dubby Energy. Our Dubby plays of the week. We're looking to get that dub here in week 1. Dubby, good, clean energy. They announced today that they're expecting to announce some more flavors here coming soon, so some excitement there. The yuzu fruit, the newest one they dropped, is really good. I love it. It is my personal favorite, and they claim it is the best flavor they ever came up with. But if that's not your shtick, they got a ton of other stuff. They collab with other content creators as well as animes. They're collabing currently with the Anime of the Year and Solo Leveling. So if that's your shtick, check them out. If you love good, clean, jitterless energy, support our friends over at Dubby. They got an app. Just search Dubby in your Play Store or hit up their website, dubby.gg. Use the code DRAFTEDUP for a cool 10% discount anytime, anywhere, no matter how many times you want to use it. It will be good. The podcast could be dead and buried, and that code will still work. So support our friends over at Dubby. Be better. Eat that dub with Dubby Energy. Speaking of eating that dub, your boy Jameis, third string on the Giants official depth chart.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, QB2, baby.
Yeah, I think that's just more of a sign of how fast Dart's going to be in this year, for sure. I don't expect it long, to be honest. Maybe September. Wilson will get the first month.
I've been in the boat that Jackson Dart
sure
is going to be starting sooner than later, and that's where we're starting. The New York Giants travel to the division surprise last year, wildcard team, Washington Commanders. The Commanders are 6-point home favorites and over-under at 45.5. I personally don't think it hits that over. I actually think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I trust the Giants' defense a ton. I'm iffy on Washington. I've brought up before, I think this could be just like a team who just has like a sneaky bad year, despite the fact that they're really talented. Things just don't go their way. They're playing a tougher schedule. Maybe the sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels. We had the holdout with Terry McLaurin. He's now obviously back, but who knows how quick he starts. The question of Deebo Samuel. Is he old? Is he still got it? We don't know. The running back situation in Washington is kind of up in the air. Is it Austin Ekeler's backfield? How long until Bill Krosky-Merritt takes over? Does Chris Rodriguez have a role here? Like, a lot of questions in Washington that I think the Giants cover this. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I honestly think there's a decent chance the Giants walk out of Washington with the W. Maybe that's crazy. I don't know. But from Washington, you're obviously going to start Jaden Daniels. There's no question you drafted him. He's probably the only quarterback on your roster if you're running, standard one quarterback leagues. Super flex, obviously. He's in your lineup. Terry McLaurin, you're probably starting him, but I would start Jerry Jeudy, my play of the week, over Terry McLaurin. I'd be much more comfortable with Jeudy than Money McLaurin there, but it's tough to bench him. And then Deebo, I don't want to play him week 1. I kind of want to see what his utilization is early on. And if I'm going to take a shot on one of the running backs, I would plug in Austin Ekeler for sure. And I would hold Bill Krosky and Chris Rodriguez in the same boat as Deebo. Just kind of see what the week 1 pans out for those guys. And I'll happily keep them on my bench. But Ekeler, I think, is a good flex play. low end wide running back 2. I think McLaren is a fine flex play. I don't know if he's going to be a top 24 guy this week. And then I think Zach Ertz is a good, if you punted the tight end position, he's fine, but I wouldn't. Oh, I would start. Hunter Henry. I would say Zach Ertz is kind of in that 12 to 16 range at tight end.
Yeah, Zach Ertz is rough because Terry McLaurin's not going to be full go because he hasn't been practicing most of camp, and I would hold Ertz and Debo in a higher regard than the other running backs besides Eckler for sure. Because I think if Debo's going to have any type of worth this season, it's going to be early. It's going to be when Terry McLaurin isn't 100% football ready. He's not football shape yet, per se. So I think Debo's value is going to come earlier in the season than later, per se. So I wouldn't be cool starting Debo in like a 2 flex league. Not one. If you only have 1 flex spot, I wouldn't even look at Debo as a starter. But if you're doing like a 12-team league, 2 flex spots, I think Debo could be a lower-end flex guy.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. If you have 2 flex, I'd put Debo in, but 1 flex, I'd be trying to get out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I would probably start Adam Thielen over him.
That's rough.
I just like the matchup.
Just got there, but it's a system he already knows, so I'm not too worried about it. He'll slide right in. Yeah, they're in the same cup for sure. I would probably lean Thielen, I guess. Yeah, I agree to that.
Oh, well, I would start both those guys over Cooper Kupp. You said same cup.
Ha. I'm like, did I miss Cooper Kupp's name in this? Like, we're just naming old ass receivers. Is that what we're doing here?
No, you said same cup, and that's
yeah. You're good over my head.
Yeah. New York Giants. It's a little easier for fantasy. Ugh. I like Tyrone Tracy. I think I considered him as a play of the week candidate. Mm-hmm. I think he has flex upside. I would hold him and Eckler in the same regard. And obviously, you start Malik Neighbors. PPR leagues, Wandale's fine. It's junky, gross points, but he gives you a good floor because, maybe he is the wide receiver 2 of this team. We don't know, but...
Would you start Debo or Wandale?
I would play Debo. There's more touchdown upside for Debo Samuel than Wandale, but if you want the good floor, I think Wandale's fine. He can get 6 catches, and that's 6 points in a PPR.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Wandale's good for 6 for 40, to where I think Debo is a little bit flashier. Yeah, I would start Debo over Wandale for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tracy, though?
I like Tracy. You said he's in the same bucket as Eckler, and yeah, no, I would agree to that. This week, I would say Tracy's. He's going to have the full go at workload. I don't think Scadaboo's going to eat early in the season. I expect him to start getting more involved come the time Jackson Dart takes over, with a little more screen games, a little more pound the rock. I think Tracy's got pretty good value early on in the season.
Okay. You willing to plug in Theo Johnson?
Not yet. I want to see how he's used.
Not yet. Okay. So you'd start Zach Ertz over him?
Oh, yeah, easily. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Anyone else on this team?
Nah, dude, the Giants don't have much talent offensive-wise.
Yeah.
And
there's no point talking about Malik Neighbors. He's going to get peppered with targets. And
yeah, exactly. He's gonna eat regardless. And if anyone who drafted Malik Neighbors, you're starting Malik Neighbors. Don't even worry about it.
Russell Wilson's really only in play in Superflex if you could start 2 quarterbacks. Otherwise,
oh man, even 2 quarterbacks. I'm still looking for other options at QB2, brother. It ain't Russ.
Yeah. End of the day, Giants Washington. Who walks out 1-0?
Give me the Commanders. Give me Jaden Daniels. I trust him.
You know what? Let's start this thing spicy. This is the upset of the week. Giants over Washington, week 1. Brian Dable and crew walk out of there 1-0.
I mean, I said it earlier. Defenses get started hotter than offenses. It's not out of the question. The Giants arguably have the best defensive line in football, and that's not a crazy thing to say.
I low-key hope there's a mysterious injury and Jackson Dart gets to play this game.
Oh, whoa. I was going to say, where's he going with this?
Yeah, Like
You want
Tyrod
Dart out there
Taylor
week
mysteriously gets his lung punctured and Justin Herbert steps in. I kind of hope Russ maybe doesn't even get hurt. I don't want to wish injury upon anybody, but maybe Russ is just playing bad, and Jackson Dart comes in at halftime, gives this team some juice. I don't know. I'm in. I'm weirdly in on Jackson Dart.
Dude, if this game
wasn't my guy in the draft process, but I am picking the Giants, even if it's Russ the whole game. I'm going Brian Dable, upset crew here. I'm really trusting the Giants defense on Sunday.
I love to hear that. If this game is 3-0 Washington going into half and Russ has like 75 yards, 2 interceptions, he's below 50% completion percentage, it would not shock me if Jackson Dart gets to go at halftime.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be in quick, for sure.
Yeah, we shall see. All right, next up, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Cleveland to take on division rival, the Cleveland Browns. The Bengals are 5.5-point road favorites. An over-under set at 48.5 points. This is one of the higher games of week one. Obviously, on the Cleveland side, Jerry Jeudy, my start of the week, I'm really comfortable with him as a flex low-end wide receiver too. I said it during Wash. I would play Jerry Jeudy over Terry McLaurin if I had both and I had to come down to one spot. I'm going to go with Jeudy. I'm going to take the upside of the offensive shootout here. David Njoku, lock him in.
Yep.
He's probably a top 3 tight end this week. I held him into a category that he was too good to be a play of the week at the opening segment there, as we try to shy away from like the more elite players. Though I guess David Njoku did kind of fit that bill.
Yeah, I would have gave him Njoku for sure. I would have allowed it.
Yeah. Cedric Tillman, I think he's a good dart throw upside. If you know,
I agree.
If you're in like my situation in our home league, I had a lack of picks because I tried to win it all. I got Tillman late, and Tillman right now is in my week one lineup. I'm gonna play the like I said, the shootout game here in Cleveland and Cincinnati. And really, do you play either of the Browns running backs week one? In Samson No? Okay.
No. And I'm half-ass in on Jerome Ford. But if it came the time and those little talking heads started coming and the starters were getting announced and it was Dylan Sampson, I would not be shocked if they just gave Dylan Sampson the go. I don't know how it's going to go, but I wouldn't comfortably start Ford on just be like, oh, he might get all the volume. The word in there was might.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he's going to get the volume. We don't know how that's going to go. I would be willing to bet a ton of money on I know how the passing game is going to go. Jerry Jeudy's going to eat. Njoku's going to eat. And I think Cedric Tillman's also going to eat. I would start him over Wandale if we're doing this weird number 2 ranking systems. He'd be really close to Debo, though. Like, really close. I'd probably...
I think he gives you more upside
give him
than
the
Debo.
go. I agree. I'd give him the go over Debo week one.
Yeah.
I think Tillman could be phenomenal this year.
Yeah. And back to the Browns running game, it could even be opposite. Like you could think, oh, they said they're going to work Sampson in, and he gives you more juice, more upside. And there's a world where week one, Jerome Ford takes 90% of the carries and snaps out of the backfield,
100%.
and Dylan Sampson's irrelevant. So it's a backfield to monitor for sure. If it's a 50-50 thing, maybe you go out, maybe Dylan Sampson's on your waiver wire, you claim him, because if it is 50-50, I think that starts to shift into his favor. But if it's more of a 70-30, I think then Jerome Ford is the better play going forward until Quinshon Judkins rolls around. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to kind of shy away from the running game for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, if I was like forced to start one of them, because for some reason I drafted 2, I got both of them. I got Sampson and Ford, and I'm like, oh, I really need this. I would go Ford. I think full point PPR. I think Ford's going to have 3 or 4 catches, 60 yards on the ground, and another 20 through the air. So we're looking at close to double digits, if not a little over double digits for Ford. But I don't think he's going to get in the end zone week one.
Yeah. It would be. If I was just looking for a guy to get the points, I would play Ford. If I was in a situation where I was down a ton, say my opponent had, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and they go off
a bunch
here
of
tonight.
Eagles, a couple Chargers, yeah, for sure.
And I need a guy who could score a 60-yard touchdown. I'll put Dylan Sampson in my lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I think Samson has a way higher ceiling than Ford, but Ford's floor is really safe compared to Samson's.
Yeah. Yeah. Samson could easily put up a goose egg.
Yeah, for sure.
And Cincinnati, I'm not shying away from their running back. Chase
Start 'em
Brown,
all, brother.
lock him in. He's going to score, whether it's through the air or on the ground. It is a tough matchup. Let's not discredit the Browns' defense.
Browns
But,
defense is really good.
Chase Brown puts in the work in the passing game that he can kind of have a not consistent game, efficient game on the ground, but he could still get you 5 catches and kind of make up for that. Obviously, Jamar Chase, you drafted him 1-1. You're putting him in. T. Higgins, you probably drafted him 2nd, 3rd round. You're playing him. And Joe Burrow is probably the only quarterback on your roster, and you're playing him. It's really then,
Yeah.
you mess around with Mike Gesicki. I don't, because all the options are
No.
there. I'd rather,
Yeah.
I'd rather be going after Hunter Henry. I would probably hold Gesicki in like the same boat as Jonnu Smith. That if it's like a 14-team league and you're real desperate, yeah, sure, you could play one of them. But yeah, Gesicki, I'm going otherwise. Like, Gesicki's value to me is really only if one of the bigger options get hurt.
Yeah, give me like Zach Ertz to the game we talked about before. I'd probably put Gesicki and Theo Johnson, the Giants tight end, around the same bucket. I wouldn't look to start either of them, but yeah, for sure, give me Hunter Henry over all those guys.
Yeah. Who wins? Who wins on Sunday? The Bengals, notoriously slow starters.
Man, yeah, I know that's got me worried, but no, give me Cincinnati.
I am also going Cincinnati. Their starters did play in the preseason. This is
A
like the
lot.
first time Joe Burrow's had like a healthy offseason.
Yep,
He didn't miss
in
any
his
time. There was
career.
no,
Yeah.
So I think actually the Bengals get off to a win, a rare week 1 win for Zach Taylor and crew.
Yeah, I want to say his record in like
He's probably winless.
the first 2 weeks, it's like 1-11. It's some insane number, dude. It's so bad.
Okay, speaking of bad, next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to New York to take on the Jets.
Revenge
the
game,
Steelers,
brother.
Yeah, for both quarterbacks.
Both
Double
quarterbacks. I
revenge
love
game.
that.
Yeah.
I think this game is going to be hysterical. I am so excited for this game.
The Steelers are 3-point road favorites, and this is the only game of week 1 with an over-under 40 points. It is at 38.5. That's nasty. That's gross. Pittsburgh, Jalen Warren, same boat, maybe a little lower than Eckler and Tyrone Tracy, but I think he's a flex play.
I would put him in the same boat. I think the way Mike Tomlin came out and talked about Kenny Gainwell and Caleb Johnson, with Warren getting this new contract, I don't think he's going to have much competition in the backfield the first couple weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, DK Metcalf. Tough matchup against Sauce Gardner, but he's the only player in the passing game. You're putting him in. Jonnu Smith, I brought him up. Again, like, I will try to find, if you're
there are
that
so
desperate,
many
I'm
other
sorry,
tight ends out there. Yeah.
But yeah, and he might get his. Arthur Smith loves him, and there is a world where Jonnu Smith like scores 2 touchdowns on Sunday, but there's also a world where he just is in there blocking his ass off and he gets 1 catch and isn't involved at all.
I wouldn't even
because Arthur Smith and crew, they're going to want to run the ball.
Yeah, and that's my worry. They're going to be out there in 3 tight end sets. It's going to be a lot of Washington, a lot of Pat Freiermuth as well. I would look Jonnu. I'd be more comfortable, obviously, in full point PPR because I think that's where he's going to start getting like some type of value. It's going to be like 6 or 7 catches, but man, it's going to be like an Evan Ingram game, dude. It's going to be 40, maybe 50 yards. It's going to be less than 10 yards a catch. Half point PPR leagues, I'm out then. I'm like completely out on Jonnu, half point PPR. So it's not worth my look. Really, any of the tight ends, because I'm not even starting Mason Taylor on the other side.
Yeah, Jonnu or Gesicki.
Oh my god, give me Jonnu, higher PPR upside.
Jonnu or Theo Johnson.
Jonnu
or Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz easily.
Okay, I agree on all the statements there. What about Hunter Henry, my play of the week?
Hunter Henry over all of them.
Okay. I think that's it for Pittsburgh, right? There's
Yeah,
no one
dude,
else.
Pittsburgh's offense is very similar to the Giants. It's
Caleb Johnson?
No, not
you
week
willing
one.
to mess around with him week one?
No
agree.
way. No way,
and
Jose.
Aaron Rodgers is in that same boat as Russell Wilson. He's really only being played if you have two quarterbacks. And
I would start Fields over Rodgers and Wilson for sure.
Agree. On the Jets side, similar boat here. You're starting the number one receiver in Garrett Wilson. You're starting the number one running back in Breece Hall.
And not confidently.
Justin Fields. Yeah. Justin Fields has QB1 upside. He could be a top 12 play just because he runs the ball. I do like him more than, Rodgers, Russ, even Flacco. I'd probably play Fields over him as well. Really, then it's just Braylon Allen. I think you could comfortably play the Jets backup running back compared to Pittsburgh. I'm not going to play Gainwell or Caleb Johnson, but Braylon Allen, I think there is flex appeal there, but I would say it's a low-end desperate play if you're going to be putting him in your lineup. But they've been speaking about this backfield as if a 50-50 split, so we'll see come Sunday if that is the case. And if it is, Braylon Allen probably has flex appeal going forward for the rest of the year then.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll compare him to a hot name that's been very hot the last 2 weeks, and it's Bill Krosky, Merritt, the Redskins or the Commanders running back. I would start Braylon Allen over him. I would easily start Braylon Allen over him. I think there's a legitimate chance Braylon Allen has as many carries as Breece Hall does week one. And if that's the case, that's a 50-50 backfield split. Oh my God, week 2 is going to be a migraine trying to figure out what the hell to do with those two guys.
Breece Hall's value will then just come through the passing game because he could easily be the number 2 option in the passing attack, and that's where he gives you his upside in quotes. But it'll be gross playing Breece Hall comfortably and really relying on that.
Especially when Fields is his quarterback, dude. Fields very seldom checks down. He'll just rather run.
So he checked down more in Pittsburgh than he did in Chicago, but we'll see if that was just an Arthur Smith kind of drilling that in. Yeah, we'll see how it works here in New York. Billy,
give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I'm going to pick the Steelers. I'm not confident whatsoever in that pick, and I wouldn't be confident if I said I picked the Jets. It's a toss-up to me. I think this is a disgusting game, for sure.
Oh, it's going to be horrendous. I'm so excited for it, though. It's more so my tiebreaker was just between, I like Aaron Glenn. He's a really good first-time rookie coach. He's going up against Mike Tomlin, dude. That dude's never had a losing season in his career. If I'm just putting money on a team here, it's got to go to the Mike Tomlin side. That's the only way I'm looking at this.
That's fair. I think that Jets offense has a little more juice
than Pittsburgh. I agree.
Yeah, and defenses, I would say, are draw. Both defenses
they're
are pretty
both
good.
even. Yeah.
So, but that Mike Tomlin is what pushed me to pick Pittsburgh as well. So I agree. Arizona. The Cardinals, they travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Cardinals are 6.5-point road favorites.
Bump it
over
up.
Under of 43.5. Rookie head coach in New Orleans and Kellen Moore. We like Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore gives. I'm excited to see what he does here in New Orleans. I hope they kind of stick with him, and they should, because this is not a roster built for any sort of success here early on or the future, because this team is going to eventually fall into cap hell. So hopefully this is a case of hey, Kellen Moore, you're our guy for the next half decade as we try to figure things out here. Spencer Rattler is the quarterback. That does not give me a lot of confidence in Chris Olave and
doesn't give me confidence in
Shaheed.
anything, dude. They're going to have so many 3-and-outs. This offense isn't going to be on the field, dude. I'm so worried about their whole offense.
I think Juwan Johnson gives you some upside. His numbers with Rattler last year were pretty good. I would probably start him over, if I was in that dirty boat, I would take him over Jonnu. I would take him over Theo Johnson. I'd probably put him in the same boat as Zach Ertz. I'd probably lean
Whoa.
Ertz. But I think Jonnu could give Juwan Johnson could give you touchdown upside if the Saints score 2 touchdowns.
Huh.
I think Juwan Johnson could get both of them.
That's a joke. If they're scoring touchdowns, they're both Alvin Kamara. They're not through the air. I think Kamara's the only Saint I'd be looking to play. I'm out on all the other players.
Where would you have Juwan Johnson in terms of those tight ends?
Under Jonnu, above Gesicki.
Okay. So you're a little lower on Juwan Johnson than I am. Chris Olave.
It's a quarterback thing, dude. Like if you would put Jameis Winston on this offense, I would be so in on Olave. Shaheed, oh my God, Shaheed would be a start in the flex every single week with Jameis and Winston. And Juwan Johnson, I would also happily start. He'd be over Zach Ertz if Winston was his quarterback. Like, I fully expect this team half the time to be on the field for 3 plays and go half. Their punter's going to punt 6 times, 7 times.
Chris Olave or Deebo Samuel?
Deebo.
Agree. Chris Olave or Cedric Tillman?
Oh my God. Olave. Ugh. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Tillman. Chris Olave or Wan'Dale Robinson?
Olave. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Him and Tillman are literally like neck and neck. Tomorrow I could wake up and be like, I'm just going Tillman. Yeah. He's got a better touchdown.
Where's Shaheed fall into this boat? Because I think him and Olave are pretty much like the same kind of ranking.
Under Wan'Dale.
Okay, I would play Shaheed over Wan'Dale just because he has a big play potential. Again,
he does,
it would probably be
for
matchup based as well. If I needed more upside, I would definitely go Shaheed. But yeah, it's pretty much Alvin Kamara is the only Saint you're comfortably just putting in your lineup and hope he just has that disgusting sort of year that he had a few years ago where he was just had like 80 catches and it was like for 400 yards.
Yeah, it was for absolutely nothing. That's what we need out of Kamara this year. I think Kamara's going to be fine this year, but he's going to only have like 6 total touchdowns. I don't think this offense is going to score more than 28 at all in a single game. Like their team is bad. Their offense is horrendous.
God bless Kellen Moore for taking this job.
Dude, I love Kellen Moore. You brought it up. Like it did seem by the way that they really wanted him, the way that they like went after him. I think Kellen Moore is safe there for at least 4 years.
Yeah. How long until Tyler Shuck is this team's quarterback? Who's going to start their first game first? Jackson Dart or Tyler
drives?
Shuck?
I don't know. Week 2, 3. It's going to be just as early as Jackson Dart. I would say Chuck gets in before Dart.
Okay. Arizona side. Trey McBride, locked and loaded in your lineup. You're not moving away from him. Marvin Harrison. Him or Garrett Wilson?
Give me Marv.
I agree. More upside. Garrett Wilson could have just 4 catches for 4. He could have a Wan'Dale game.
Yeah, Marv doesn't have Justin Fields throwing him the ball, so
yeah. I think Marv or Terry McLaurin.
That's a little tougher. I would probably go Marv over Terry just because Terry hasn't practiced much.
Agree. Marvin Harrison, I think he's a good play this week. Low-end wide receiver 2, high-end flex play. I kind of hold him in the same boat that I have Jerry Jeudy in. And Michael Wilson, we're not messing around with him. Kyler Murray probably could be a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah, just based off matchup.
It really all depends. Like there's a chance that this is just a James Conner game because the Saints are so bad and we don't see a ton of, production in the passing game, and it's just James Conner and Trey Benson just running the ball down this team's throat. And Kyler Murray has, 215 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions, and that kind of hurts McBride and Marv. And James Conner is a high-end RB2, low-end RB1, and Trey Benson, to me, does have flex appeal in this game.
Yeah, with how much they're going to be running most likely in the second half, I think Benson's going to be used. And they've brought up that they want to use Benson a little bit more to keep Connor a little bit fresh throughout the season. And Benson's looked amazing throughout the camp. So 2 flex, 3 flex, deep leagues, I would start Trey Benson just because of the matchup. And I'm cool with Kyler. I think he's going to end up in the end zone somehow, even if it's rushing or passing. I think he gets in the end zone at least once. And I expect him to have 40 yards on the ground. So that's just a free 4 points. So I'm cool with Murray. I think he's going to have a fine game.
Yeah, I would play Kyler. He would be a top 12 quarterback for me this week, but I do think there is a world where it's just a ton of running. Sure. And
yeah.
Kyler could be a disappointment week 1, per se, despite the
fact he could end up getting Jared Goff.
Arizona should win this game.
Yeah, Arizona should easily win this game. It's arguably my least favorite team throughout this whole season. I'm not high on the Saints at all.
The Saints, I would probably say, will be drafting in the top 3 come
4
April.
For sure. Yep, I agree.
All right, we're both going Arizona there. So far, I think our only difference is I picked the Giants.
You picked my team.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on division rival the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucs are 1.5-point road favorites, over under a 47.5. Atlanta, we have spoke very highly of this team's offense, saying that they could be the 2025 Cincinnati Bengals team. We don't know how good the defense is. They tried to improve it through the draft. They brought in Jalen Walker. They brought in James Pierce Jr. AJ Terrell is still there. They drafted Xavier Watts. So we'll see what the makeshift Falcons defense is going to be. I still in the boat that it's not going to be a great defense, and this is going to be a team that's going to have to score a ton of points. Might be a little tough to do so. Tampa is a pretty good defense, but I'm playing Drake London. I'm playing Bijan Robinson. I think Kyle Pitts is a good play this week. I would play him over the tight ends we brought up earlier, Jonnu, Johnson, Gesicki, Zach Ertz, Theo Johnson, those guys. I would not play him over Hunter Henry, but I think Kyle Pitts could be a top 12 guy this week. I think he's worth the shot there. And, Michael Penix, if you want to get spicy, maybe. I'm not in that boat, but I think he could be a top 20 play. So 2 QB Superflex leagues. I think Michael Penix is a good bet. But the Falcons, easy to predict. Just play them. And Darnell Mooney is probably the one I'm going to kind of shy away from. I want to see him out there coming off this shoulder injury, see how effective he is. Like, I'd rather play Kyle Pitts than Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, for sure. Mooney hasn't practiced much at all this camp. He's been on the sidelines. And I kind of agree with the Kyle Pitts thing. I would have him in the same bucket as Zach Ertz. I would start Hunter Henry over him. Maybe Zach Ertz if you don't want to, get bit in the ass by Kyle Pitts. You just want to play it safe. But Kyle Pitts is going to be fun this year. It's going to be a lot of, hopefully, more consistency than you've gotten. But I'm expecting another Rocky Mountain climb here for Kyle Pitts. But everyone else, though, I'm in. I think Drake London's a lock. Bijan's a lock. Penix is not. But 2 quarterback leagues, I'd start Penix over like Wilson and Rodgers, all those guys.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Pitts, if you're a Kyle Pitts owner and this dude goes out and has 8 grabs for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, are you bragging about that? Or are you trying to move that dude?
I don't even sure if he does that. I don't even know. Sure, his value would go up a little bit. I don't think it would skyrocket. I would need to see that 2 weeks in a row, to be honest. I don't trust Kyle Pitts, even if it's most of the season, to be honest.
I'm in on Pitts, but I'd be praying that another person in the league would be like, dude, I had, Travis Kelce, and he put up 1 catch for whatever reason.
Send him my way. I'll take Kelce over Pitts.
I need to move on, and Kyle Pitts, super involved on the field for 90% of the snaps.
That could happen.
I'd be trying to dip him, but Kyle Pitts, he has that upside of Michael Penix. We'll see. I hope first play of the game they just take a fucking bomb and try to hit Kyle Pitts in stride. We'll see. Tampa Bay, Baker, I think is a great play. I think he's got top 5 upside this week at quarterback. Mike Evans, put him in your lineup, lock him in. I think Emeka Buka's good at flex play. I would hold him in the same boat as Terry McLaurin. I'd probably lean McLaurin though on that one. Kate Otten, no thank you, and then Bucky Irving, probably an
Kate
RB.
Otten might not even play. He's hurt.
Oh, is he? Okay, I didn't see that.
Mhm.
Bucky Irving, at worst, he's an RB2. Rashad White is finally healthy, but I'm kind of shying away from him this week. He's not one of the Bucks I'd be putting in there. I expect this to be, Evans and Bucky with some Egbuka sprinkled in there for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't look Rashad White to start at all, even in 2 flex leagues. I'm trying to find a way out of that. But like Bucky, Mike Evans, Baker, those guys are all locks. I think all those guys could easily be in the top 12s of at their position. Baker, I think, could be top 5. Bucky, I think, is in line for a huge week. And Mike Evans is Mike Evans, dude. I'm always in on Mike Evans, dude. Fucking double-digit touchdowns on the horizon.
Egbuka or Terry McLaurin?
Give me Terry. For sure.
What about Jerry Jeudy? And Egbuka?
Give me Jeudy.
Okay. Who wins? Bucks or Falcons?
Tampa.
Give me Tampa as
very
well.
high on Tampa.
Yeah. All right. Next game. Okay. The Miami Dolphins traveled to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Colts are 1.5 point home favorites. The over-under is 47.5.
They think the Dolphins still have a crazy offense, dog.
Yeah, but do the Colts have an offense that we can trust to hang
they got
in
a
a
Jonathan
shootout?
Taylor.
Yeah, that over under. I would have expected that one to be closer to 40 than 50, but
Yeah, for sure.
okay. On the Colts side, Jonathan Taylor, obviously locked and loaded. I think Tyler Warren's a good play as well.
I wouldn't even second guess Warren. Don't even overthink it. Start Tyler Warren.
Top 10 upside there. I would start Tyler Warren over all those guys.
Over, I think, every tight end we've named for the most part, I think, except like Trey McBride, obviously.
I would, obviously, Trey McBride, top 2 tight end. I would probably hold Warren in the same boat as I do Hunter Henry this week, though I think Warren's upside is way higher. But I think Hunter Henry could easily score points, whereas I just don't think the Colts offense is going to score a ton of points, but I think Tyler Warren could easily have 8 catches on Sunday.
I agree. I would put Warren in the Njoku's bucket. That's where I would have him. I have him as like a top 5, top 6 tight end this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be a boat, bro.
Could be a boat. You're right. You playing any of the wide receivers for Indianapolis? Being Michael Pittman or Josh Downs?
Not in 1 flex leagues, 2 flex leagues. I would look at maybe one of them. No preference. I think they're both on the same tier this week. If I had to pick between one of them, I would go Downs over Pittman. I like Downs more. I think he's a better receiver. I think he's a better football player. He's got better hands.
Yeah, he's got the hamstring thing going on right now, so that's something to monitor.
I believe he is back at practice, though. I think he's fine.
Yeah.
He's not on the injury report anymore. He was taken off.
I think it's interesting to that is a monitor situation for me. Watch to see how that plays out target share wise, because Daniel Jones has spoke about Michael Pittman as the alpha of this room. So we'll see how that turns out. How do you feel about Daniel Jones though? Like, you got him or Penix?
Give me Danny Jones.
Okay. Daniel Jones or Justin Fields?
Danny Jones.
Whoa. Okay.
They have the same rushing upside, and I think Danny Jones throws a better football.
Okay. I would lean Fields. I'm gonna just take. He's a better athlete, and
for sure. Well, if that's what we're talking about, give me Anthony Richardson.
I don't think there's a world where Daniel Jones could get 100 rushing yards, whereas I think Justin Fields could have 150 and just be.
No, but I think Danny Jones could have 75 and a tutty.
Yeah, he gives you more passing game upside for sure. I just don't. I mean, I don't think the Jets' offense is great, but if I had to pick one of these teams to score 2 touchdowns, I think I would go with Justin Fields. I would go with
10 out of 10
Fields
times over the fucking Jets.
Okay. See, I am.
The Jets are playing the Steelers defense, dog.
Yeah, I get that, but I think Justin Fields could easily just break off 2 touchdown runs, whereas the Colts, I think if they're going to score, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Daniel Jones has a lot of touchdown upside, and that's where I lean.
Oh no, I totally
Justin
agree.
Fields,
I
even
think
though, yeah,
I think he's only going to have a touchdown this week, and I think it's going to be the Tyler Warren. But I think he's good for 175 through the air and maybe another 50 on the ground with a touchdown. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, there might be a world where Alec Pierce somehow becomes fantasy. He is the ultimate like week 1 wide receiver. He always like seems to catch a bomb for a touchdown. He was on the field a ton last year for them, so like I said, I'm monitoring the Colts wide receiving room. Obviously, Pittman and Downs are the higher drafted of the 4, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see Pierce and Adonai Mitchell get a decent amount of playing time in here as they try to figure things out in Indianapolis.
I think Pierce is going to be on the field, but just like every other season, he's on the field a bunch, and he's never really fantasy relevant consistently. I'm not even looking at that guy as an option.
Yeah. Miami, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, Tyreek Hill, you're going to put him in. I'm not as confident Tyreek Hill is where he's been going in drafts. He's been drafted as a top 12 wide receiver. Sure, the upside's there, but I'm just banking on it not hitting. But you're going to play him. I would rather play Waddle than Hill. I think you're probably in the same boat. I know you love Jalen Waddle. That was your fantasy darling.
I don't know if I would say over Tyreek, but I have those guys so close in my rankings this week. They're pretty much back to back. I'm in on both those guys starting.
Would you play both of them over Terry McLaurin?
Oh man, probably.
I would too. I think both of them have a little bit better ceiling than Terry, especially in Vegas thinks this is going to be a shootout. So
that's very true.
Devon Achane practicing. You're going to put him in your lineup, locked in, probably a second round pick in your league, maybe your RB1 if you want wide receiver at the back end of your draft or in the middle. I think you could play him and just hope that his hamstring or calf, whichever one it is, stays intact and healthy, and he gives you that big play upside. Tua, he's fine, but like I would play Tua over Penix and Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, but I would probably lean like Justin Fields slightly over Tua, but I would have them in the same tier or bucket.
I would go Tua over Danny Jones and Justin Fields.
Okay. And then to me, the name to monitor on the Miami side is Ollie Gordon. See how involved he is in the running game here. I wouldn't play him yet, but I think there's a chance where he is more involved than we expect, and he could be kind of a guy, if he's out there on your waiver wire, you could snag up, and we see them kind of replicate the Mostert Achane successful year that they had a few years ago. And I think that is best for Achane as well if they have a viable option to take some load off of his plate.
Yep, we've seen it before with this offense where they've had 2 really good running backs. Mostert had a ton of touchdowns that season. I think Ollie Gordon's a really good player. I liked him a lot coming out of college. I think he's going to be the goal line back. I think he's going to be the red zone kind of guy if they need short yardage. I think he's going to be the third down guy if it's third and short. I'm in on Ollie Gordon. I'm not going to start him, but I would definitely roster him at this point.
Yeah, and then there's even a chance, like at goal line situations, Ollie Gordon can line up in the back, and they could put Achane in the slot. He's athletic enough to be the slot option there, so he gives you the versatility that you could have both those guys on the field. I would also keep an eye on Malik Washington's usage.
Yep,
if he's out there a ton. Yeah, if he plays a ton and is involved, I think he's a good waiver wire pickup after week 1. So keep an eye on his usage and just keep an eye on how often Ollie Gordon's out there in terms of the running game.
Even if like Malik Washington is being like schemed into the offense and like designed plays, that's how you know a guy's going to be used throughout the season. If they're out here scheming up plays for a guy week 1, you got to think of like guys that aren't even used week 1. Like Gibbs, his rookie year, week 1 wasn't used week 1. Jefferson, it took weeks for him to get onto the field. I think like week
Yeah,
3, week 4
Simmer.
was his breakout year. But if a team is getting a guy heavily involved week 1 and they're scheming plays purposely for this guy, that's something to look at because they have spent all offseason trying to get this guy into the offense. So if it works, they're going to be used in the offense more consistently. And Malik Washington is one of those guys to definitely keep an eye on.
Yeah. I'm going to take Miami in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I trust Miami's offense.
Yeah. Yeah. I hold the Colts, like I've brought up, I'm not in on Indy as a good football team. I brought up with the Saints drafting in the top 3. I think Indianapolis will also have a top 3 pick this year.
I do not hold them that bad. I hold them in the same bucket as the Jets.
Yeah. The Jets could also be drafted top 5.
I think they're going to be 10 to 13 range, 8 to 13.
Okay. Yeah. Battle of the Cats. The Carolina Panthers travel to Jacksonville to take on Duval and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are 3.5-point home favorites, over under 46.5. Let's start with the road team here, Carolina. Bryce Young, I think he gives you more upside than some of the quarterbacks we talked about. Like, I think I'd rather play Bryce Young than Michael Penix, just because Jacksonville's defense not as good as Tampa Bay's.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah.
Same bucket.
Tetairoa McMillan, I think he is a good flex play this week. Xavier.
Him or Ibuka?
What's that?
Him or Ibuka, Tet?
I would go with Tet. I think there's a chance Tampa could just be up early and it's Bucky Irving's game. But whereas Carolina, I don't think Xavier Legette can eat too much into his workload. Mm-hmm. Whereas, Tet or Ibuka's got Mike Evans to compete with, who could see 15 targets.
That's totally, I agree. I think Tet is more of in the Mike Evans role already, where he's the number 1, so he's gonna see all of the targets regardless of what happens.
Mm-hmm. Jatavian Sanders at tight end, I kind of put him in the same boat as these other guys we talked about: Juwan Johnson, Jonnu Smith, Theo Johnson, Mike Gesicki.
I would keep a closer eye out on him more so than most of these guys because of Cokert being hurt. I think Sanders is going to be used a bunch in the slot as the 3. He's super athletic. They drafted him for a reason, obviously. I Sanders definitely keep an eye out on.
Yeah. Carolina, just the passing game in general, that's something to watch, see what the pecking order is. Obviously, we expect Tetairoa McMillan to be the number 1 target, but it'll be interesting to see who the number 2 target is there. I expected it to be Jalen Coker, but with him on IR for 4 to 6 weeks, it could be Legette, it could be Sanders, it could be Hunter Renfrow.
For sure.
We'll see there. Chuba Hubbard, you're obviously going to play him. I think that is a lock as an RB2. And then just keep an eye on Rico Dowdle's snap count. If he's out there for a good amount of the share, watch these backup running backs like we brought up with Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Rico Dowdle's another one. Yep. We know Carolina wants to use a 2-back system. They've brought in, Miles Sanders. They wanted it to be Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders just didn't work. They drafted Jonathan Brooks, who just happened to get hurt. So it's just kind of all fallen into it's just Chuba's backfield. Now they bring in Rico Dowdle. We've brought it up here, watch it. It could be Rico Dowdle seeing a decent amount of work where he then kind of becomes you keep on your bench flex appeal kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a 50-50 split, but if it's like a 60-40, that wouldn't surprise me too much, to be honest. I think Rico's going to be involved a ton. And
he's a good running back.
At the end of the day, exactly. He's a really good football player in a system that has proven that they've wanted to have 2 running backs. Mm-hmm. The second one just doesn't work out ever. Like you said, and Rico's better than all those other guys. Miles Sanders, Brooks. I really like Rico. I think he's going to be not obviously fantasy relevant, but he's going to be out there a bunch in real life and just the guy that really appreciate. Give his flowers to, Rico. At the end of the day, he's going to eat in the Chuba, his workload, and people aren't talking about it.
Yeah, if Rico Dowdle's out there on your waivers, I would probably already be trying to find a way to make room for him on my roster because if he isn't involved week 1 and it is more of a 75-25 type situation, move on from him. But if it's out there and it's 55-45, you got a guy who then you could play as an RB2 flex kind of play in an offense that we know wants to run the ball.
Especially, he's going to be the back that's getting the catches, too. So in a PPR league...
Yeah, Chuba, not his shtick.
Yeah, it's not going to be Chuba. He's like historically bad when it comes to the catches. He hurts the team. So Rico, if the split is that close and Rico's the pass catching back, he's going to finish way closer to Chuba Hubbard than anyone has ever expected this whole offseason.
Yeah, he was going undrafted in like RB 50 something. Yeah. Jacksonville. I think Trevor Lawrence is a sneaky good play this week. I considered going him for my play of the week. I think there is a world. Carolina's defense last year was historically bad.
It's been,
especially against the run. So I really wanted to throw out Tank Bigsby or Travis Etienne as my running backs, but that was a little too spicy for me. I went with Tony Pollard, but I think Etienne and Bigsby are both playable. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr., you're locking him in your lineup. He was a first, second round pick. And Travis Hunter, I don't know if I'm going to play him week 1. You might have drafted him that you have to play him, but I'm more comfortable putting him on my bench and kind of monitoring how often he's on the field for offense. Like, I would play Ricky Pearsall, who you drafted 3 rounds later than Travis Hunter. I would rather play him just because I think I would lean Debo.
I agree. And Debo is going crazy late compared to Travis Hunter. I just want to see how he's being used. I get that, like, we've joked with the running bit is it could be a boat. Hunter could be a yacht. I get it. If he's out there 60% defense, 40% offense, I just took a huge loss. And then he's not going to be used heavily as the number 1 because BTJ's out there. Carolina can't stop the run if their fucking life depended on it. So ETN and Bigsby are both going to be used. I really like Strange. Obviously not more than most of these tight ends we've named, but I think he's going to be involved. I just don't know how much Travis Hunter's going to be used consistently week 1 in offense. I think he's going to be out there.
Yeah,
and I think when he's out there, it's going to go his way. They're going to manufacture his touches. I just don't know how many touches he's going to get week 1.
Yeah, like that's why I'm comfortable putting him on my bench. And if he does he's out there for 90% of the snaps, I'm locking him in week 2 then.
I agree. I drafted him this high, obviously. You drafted him in like the 6th or the 7th. I'm cool taking the L week 1 if he goes out there and shows off. Because I have him. I'm cool with taking the L only based off of I have him for the rest of the year and I know what he did offensively week 1. And let's say it is 80% offense. I'm thrilled going forward. But like we said, if it's the opposite, you're looking at close to a goose egg. You're looking at 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to get him a catch or 2 if it's predominantly defense, just to have his both sides of the ball thing. But he's a little too risky week 1 for me, homie.
Yeah. I mean, I would play him if I needed just a long shot upside guy. Like if I did play a guy who had Eagles and Chiefs and Chargers who went off, and I need a guy who could get me 25 points, I'll throw in Travis Hunter. Just because the ceiling's there for him, but
for sure,
I think his floor could be 3 points, and you'll just be like, man, who would have thought he would play predominantly on defense?
3 points, but it's freaking 1 catch for 20 yards, and man, it looked freaking beautiful. It looked great. I can tell you it already does. I'm excited to see how Travis Hunter's used week 1. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then obviously the backfield here in Jacksonville. Watch how watch how that turns out. I think both are playable this week. I think Etienne and Bigsby could be flex guys. I'm not as I love Bashal Tootin, but I just don't think there's a world where he eats into either of these guys' carries yet. Like he's more for dynasty future stash type things. I think we're going to see a lot of Etienne and Bigsby here. If I had to bank on, I would go Bigsby. I think there's more touchdown upside at the goal line.
I would go Etienne. I think there's more catch upside.
Yeah. Bigsby's lucky to have 2 catches. That'll be
If his over-under is 1.5 catches, where are you going?
If it was what? Sorry.
1.5 catches over-under?
I would take the under.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Look, if it's half a
but-
catch, where's the over-under?
I would take the over. I think he gets one.
I'm still taking the under.
It would just be a nice, like, 1 yard catch. One catch for 1 yard.
Yeah, for a fumble.
Yeah. Hey, he didn't fumble much last year, if at all.
I know. He actually
Yeah.
looked good last year. He deserves credit.
Yeah, but you definitely watch that because who knows how this split's going to go there in Jacksonville.
Well,
I
they're
truly
both-
believe it's going to be a 50-50.
They're both
all
listed
year.
as starters on their unofficial first depth chart. They're both 1A, 1B starter. They're starting both running backs. So I think that's how exactly it's going to be. It's going to literally be one's going to have 13, 14 carries. The other one's going to have 12. And it's going to be literally right down the middle.
Yep. Who wins, Panthers or Jags?
Give me Liam Cohen. Duval. Yeah, give me
I
Jacksonville.
love Carolina this year. I think Dave Canales is a great coach, but I picked the Jags to win the division. This might be one of the games I most look forward to watching.
I
To
agree.
see if the Panthers continue that progression that they had at the end of last year, and Bryce Young, does he continue to develop in the right direction? And what does Liam Cohen have in store for this offense? Does Trevor Lawrence take a step up into being relevant? Like when Trevor Lawrence plays all season, he's a 4,000-yard passer every year.
Mhm.
So this will be interesting. I'm going to go Jacksonville. I'm going to take the home team. I picked them to win the division, but it would not surprise me if Carolina walks out of here with a dub.
No, I totally agree. And I think, like you brought up how exciting this game is, I think it's because there's so many question marks. Carolina's passing game, Jacksonville's passing game, rushing game, Carolina's receivers, Travis Hunter, like Duval, like all of this. Like it's going to be fun because we're going to have questions answered. And there's so many questions. Rico Dowdle, how much is he going to be involved? Is Bashaw Tootin going to be involved? Who's Carolina's number 2? Who's Carolina's number 3? Is John Tavius Sanders going to be involved? Is Miles Sanders going to be involved? There's so many people that be like, where are the snap counts going to go? And I'm so excited to see how this game breaks down.
Yeah. All right, final 1 o'clock game on the slate. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to New England to take on the Patriots. The Patriots are 3-point home favorites and over under of 43.5. I've already brought up Drake May. I think he's a top 12 quarterback. I've already brought up Hunter Henry. They were my plays of the week. I think they're both great plays. Stephon Diggs is going to be out there week 1. I think he's got flex appeal. I would play him over like Thielen and
Easily.
Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
I would play him over Travis Hunter. I would play him over both Colts guys. I would go McLaren over him, but I would say he's closer to McLaren than he is the rest of the guys I named.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it'd be very close to McLaren because even with Diggs, he hasn't been full go at practice because of the injury, but he's obviously been leaning up and ramping up to get ready to go. And I put those guys in the same bucket. I would go McLaren over Diggs.
Yeah, I agree. What about Igbuka? Would you go Diggs or Igbuka?
Diggs.
Diggs. I agree. That's close though.
Yeah, for sure.
The other Patriots receiver, Pop Douglas, he's kind of got that Wandale kind of just get a bunch of catches, but I think he has a little bit more juice than Wandale does. So
For sure. He also has better
I think
touchdown
he's-
upside than Wandale.
Yeah, I think he's playable. And then Travion Henderson, who I've been in all off season, I lock him in. I think he's a top 20 back. And then just watch how much Ramondre is involved. I guess like if you have Ramondre Stevenson, the best time to play him would be week 1 because we know he is the starting back guaranteed right now.
That's rough.
But-
Yeah.
I don't think he gives you a ton of passing upside, like 0. Maybe he scores a touchdown, but I think everything's going to kind of filter through Drake May in the passing game here against the Raiders.
Yeah, Ramondre is really like the full-blown question mark because like obviously Henderson you're starting, Diggs you're starting, Pop Douglas, you can deep leagues, dynasty kind of stuff, you can start him. Daily play, you can start him. Hunter Henry, we've talked about all podcasts. You could start Hunter Henry without even thinking about it. But Ramondre, dude, oh my God. Week 1, you're looking for a touchdown. If you get no touchdown, you're looking probably at 5 points, 6 points.
Let's see, Ramondre or the Jaguars backs, Bigsby ETN.
Jaguars backs.
Okay. I would assume then you would go Eckler and
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy over
Yep.
Ramondre.
Yep.
What about the Cleveland backs?
Give me Jerome Ford over Ramondre. Give me Ramondre over Sampson.
Okay. I agree on that account as well. What about the backups? Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, or Ramondre?
Probably Braylon Allen, Ramondre, Ollie Gordon.
I would take Ramondre over both of them.
Okay. Fair enough. I would just take the full blown flyer on what Braylon Allen could be in that offense, where he could be a split back. Even if Ramondre has as many touches as Henderson, which he probably will, he'll probably out touch him. I don't think he's going to be any bit of consistently with those contusions. 3 yards a carry on 12 carries ain't going to get me a lot of fantasy points, brother.
Yeah, I just went. I went the Raiders' defense nowhere near as good as Pittsburgh. So
sure.
That was my edge for Ramondre. How do you feel about Drake May? You're in top 12 play this week.
Borderline, streamable.
Okay.
Yeah, streamable.
Would you play him or Jordan Love?
Probably Jordan Love based off the shootout ability. I think Jordan Love versus Detroit could be a Mondo game.
Yeah. Drake May or Kyler Murray against the Saints?
Give me that one's rough. Give me Kyler's rushing upside.
Okay,
but it's close.
I would take Drake May over both those guys. Jared Goff?
Give me Drake May.
Okay. Vegas. Brock Bowers, obviously. Put him in. Tight end 1. Ashton Jeanty, you drafted him first round. You're going to roll with it. It's going to be fun, hopefully. And hopefully that's like Jacoby Myers. You playing him this week? Revenge game?
Yeah, I'm cool with Myers in like 2 flex, maybe not 1, but deeper leagues, I'm cool with Myers, just based off that he's the one receiver. Like
him or Diggs.
Oh, Diggs. Okay, not even close.
So I would assume Jacoby Myers would be like below Terry McLaurin and all those guys as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Igbuka?
Below Ibuka. I would probably have him above Josh Downs and the Colts receivers, though, around that range, a little bit above those.
What about Cedric Tillman?
Oh, man. Probably Myers.
Okay, I would go Tillman. That's where I would draw the line there. But I would take Myers over both Colts guys as well. So I agree on that regard. Is there anyone else in play for Vegas?
Deontay Thornton, if you want to get spicy, he's the starting other receiver on the outside. I like 2 flex spots. I'd be looking at him just on high upside. He's so big. Yeah. He's so fast. It's just a matter of if he can put it together on an NFL field. His talents, it's all written in there. I don't know. I just like the prospect.
Yeah. He gives you a ton of upside. That big body guy on the outside. He is a name I'm watching week 1. Yeah. If he's out there on your waiver wire, I would try to find a way to put him on my roster just in case he does blow up week 1 and has like 5 for 105 and a touchdown, and that way you're not fighting for him with your fab and waiver positioning, whereas you can already lock him in onto your team. So if you're able to maneuver that, I would say stash him on your bench, see what he does the first 2 weeks. And if he works, cool. He could be a boat. If not, you can just move on. It's a free pick.
Yeah, I have him and Eric Ayuman are in the same exact category of they're the 2 on their team, the respected other starting receiver, both rookies, both late round picks, and they both kind of play similar. They're both big body freaks, and it could hit. They both could be boats for sure.
Yeah. Who walks out of here the winner? Patriots or Raiders?
New England.
I agree. I'm going to take Mike Vrabel. No, we didn't even bring up Pete Carroll. 2 new head coaches.
2 new head coaches.
New head coach. Yeah, that'll be a fun game. This game could also be gross. This game could be like a 12 to 14 game because that's just the kind of play both those guys want to play. Coaches.
Yeah, I'm not particularly excited about this game, but there's a lot of guys in this game that I want to watch. I want to see Henderson. I want to see Genty. I want to see Steph Diggs, see how he's doing off the injury. I want to see Drake May, see if he takes the step. I want to see Geno in the new offense. I want to see the Raiders receivers, see how the snap
Will
percentage
Campbell,
goes.
left tackle,
Oh
Will
yeah,
Campbell.
Will Campbell
Yeah,
finally getting a shot. I'm excited for that.
yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
fun.
This is a game I just want to like just see how these guys are utilized early on. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
exactly. Yeah.
mystery pieces here.
Yeah, it's not one I'm going to be dying to watch, but it's one I'm going to be really excited to see how it all plays down, though, for sure.
Yeah. All right, before we dive into our 4 o'clock games, let's give a shout out to our other affiliates over at Finley Hats. They got a ton of cool styles. You see them here every week. I'm usually rocking a Finley hat. So their hat's built for good times and long times. They got a lifetime warranty. So if your hat is damaged or destroyed, they'll replace it or repair it for absolutely free. They got free shipping across the U.S. So if you live here in the great United States of America, you'll get a free shipping on your hat. If you're elsewhere, sorry, you got to pay the shipping fee, but they'll send it to you still. So they're worth it. Good high quality hats. They got the Stampede laces. You can customize them. You can change how they're weaved into your hat. You can wear them, keep your hat secured to your head if you want to do that. Like I said, they do weekly drops, ton of cool stuff. They got other merch, shirts, shorts, sweats, all kinds of stuff there. So check them out. Join the Finley Force. Click the link in the description. You'll get a nice 15% off your first purchase. So join the Finley Force and check out our friends over at Finley Hats.
4 o'clock games, baby.
Yeah. First one on the docket, the Tennessee Titans take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, the biggest spread of the week, 8.5-point home favorites, over under a 42.5. As expected, Titans, rookie quarterback, so we don't know how the offense is going to fare here. They were the worst team in the league last year, so obviously against a team who a lot of us think are going to take a step into the right direction into potential Super Bowl contenders in Denver. So, it makes sense that this is the biggest differential. But Tennessee, like, they could be sneaky good. We don't know. We don't know what's on the docket for Cam Ward. This dude plays with this intensity, with this chip on his shoulder. He is taken over a leadership role as a rookie for this franchise, and I think they are moving in the right direction. I'm interested to see how Cam Ward fares against a tough Denver defense. First game out there, but I don't think it's going to rattle him. I don't think you can rattle Cam Ward. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's going to see a ton of unique designs, but I think he's going to handle it okay. Tony Pollard's my start of the week. He's the only back in this backfield, so it makes sense. It's really, how do you feel about Calvin Ridley? He's going to be matched up against Pat Surtain, the Defensive Player of the Year. I would put him, I like Ridley on the year. I would probably lean like Jacoby Myers over him just because of the matchup, but I understand if you got to play Ridley in the flex, he could easily get hit on a deep bomb, but I would temper expectations for him there. And Chig Okonkwo is kind of in the same boat as these other tight ends we talked about where, you could take the shot, but it's not someone I'm actively trying to push into my lineup.
Yeah, no, I think Tony Pollard's the only guy that I would be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm starting that Titan for sure. It's not even thinking about it. Tony Pollard, I would lock in. Ridley's a little bit rougher just based off matchup, but man, I love Ridley a lot this year. So I get if you're just like, I'm just going to put Ridley in and call it a day. He's a good receiver at the end of the day. So Cam Ward could easily get him for 4 or 5 catches, 70, 80 yards, and maybe he gets him for a score. This is going to be rough for Cam Ward, though. I love Cam Ward, but going up against Denver, week 1, your first start, and he's got a great mentality about it. He's already come out and said, yeah, I get I'm a rookie, but at the end of the day, we're all just football players, so I've done what I've done to get myself into this spot. We're all here at the same level of playing, so he already holds himself in the high regards. He handles every interview like a pro. I think Tennessee's going to be better than people are giving them any bit of credit because it's Cam Ward's team. He's not taking any nonsense in that locker room. He's that kind of guy. But man, you're playing Denver week 1. It's not going to be fun. Give me Denver for sure.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to be a team who I think is just going to get better as the year goes on. But I think this is going to be a rough outing for them for sure. Would you play Ridley over Jacoby Myers? Or would you go Myers?
Oh, man. That's so rough. Give me Ridley.
Okay. Denver side. We love Bo Nix here on the podcast. God bless. You're playing him.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton, my
Playing him.
fantasy darling, a wide receiver. Put him in. I'm cool taking the upside shot on Marvin Mims. I would put him in a slightly below like Cedric Tillman, but kind of the same style player in my eyes in terms of shooting for upside. And then Evan Ingram, put him in. He's a tight end one. He'll get peppered with targets. It's really sorting out the Denver backfield is really the biggest question here for Denver.
I'm cool starting them both. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree. I've started to kind of shift towards RJ Harvey being more involved early on and being, schemed in and getting, plays designed for him, which comes a long way from Sean Payton and eventually take over as the starting running back. And Dobbins, he'll get his share of the workload, probably be the touchdown guy. Like this could be a very Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram type situation where RJ Harvey is the Alvin Kamara. He gets a lot of the passing work, doesn't see a ton on the ground, but is efficient in the carries he gets. And then J.K. Dobbins just kind of eats away at things, scores touchdowns, and both guys top 24 running backs at the end of the day.
Yeah, with how efficient RJ Harvey is, that's what it comes down to. Like, J.K. Dobbins is going to outtouch him. I get that. But even if J.K. Dobbins outtouches him by only like 5 touches, their points are going to be almost identical with how efficient RJ Harvey is and how much more explosive he is in my eyes. I think if these guys are in the same ballpark of carries, I think RJ Harvey outscores J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, it's going to be similar to like the New England situation where, like, yeah, sure, Ramondre could outtouch and probably will outtouch TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah.
But TreVeyon Henderson is going to be more efficient, more explosive with the workload he gets, whereas Ramondre, you're really touchdown dependent on him. But Dobbins, I think you can get by without a touchdown just because he could have just 100 yards on the ground and get 2 or 3 catches and get you, the baseline, 13 points, 14 points in a full PPR, 11 or 12 in a half situation. So I'm comfortable with both those guys. Where do you fall on Marvin Mims?
Below Cedric Tillman, probably below Josh Downs, maybe above Michael Pittman.
Okay. So you're not as comfortable taking the shot on him as I am.
No, I have him a little bit lower than you, just based off of I think Denver can get ahead early, and then they're just running with JK and RJ Harvey.
Yeah, and I mean, there's obviously also the history of Sean Payton only has Marvin Mims out there for 30% of the snaps. So that is something to watch. Like if that is the case and they're still doing that with Marvin Mims, keep an eye on who the guy after him or is after Cortland Sutton per se, whether it's Pat Bryant or Troy Franklin.
Man, I think it's going to be Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant is going to be heavily involved in this offense very quick.
Yeah. We're both going denver here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. San Francisco, the 49ers travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Division matchup. Niners are 2.5-point road favorites, over under of 43.5 points. I love Brock Purdy, my fantasy darling. I don't really love him in this matchup. On our NFC West episode, I spoke really highly of the Seattle defense. I spoke very highly of Mike McDonald, and I think that's going to be the case. Like, I think this is going to be a low-scoring defensive affair from both sides. So I think the running backs on both sides are going to get a good amount of work. So obviously you're going to start Christian McCaffrey. You drafted him in the first round for a reason. You took the upside shot. Kenneth Walker, you're going to play him. As of now, he is healthy. So you're going to put him out there, and he has RB1 upside. We'll see how it works. Keep an eye on how much Zach Charbonnet and Brian Robinson are involved here early on for both those teams. Sam Darnold, he's in that same boat as like Penix and them. You can play him in a super flex league. Obviously, you're in a 1-quarterback league. You're not putting in Sam Darnold. Jackson Smith and Jigba's a lock. I would play both Niners guys, being Pearsall and Jennings over Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I think, and then obviously George Kittle.
George Kittle. You starting George Kittle?
On the week.
Yeah.
Starting George Kittle.
Purdy was really good last year versus Seattle. He was QB6, QB12. I'm obviously not as confident. The Seattle's defense obviously got better, got improved over the year. I think Purdy's still streamable though. I think he's right on the cusp of a QB1.
Him or Drake May.
Give me Drake May, but judging off the other names you're about to give me, I think that's the only name you could have gave me that.
Okay. Jared Goff.
Give me, oh man. Now I'm second guessing what I just said. Give me, God, give me Jared Goff.
Okay.
Give me another name so I didn't call myself a liar.
Yeah, I would go Purdy over Goff and May over both of them, obviously. How do you feel about Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Brian Robinson situation? Are you in the same boat to watch how much Robinson and Charbonnet have? Well, yeah, no, you don't play him, but if Robinson's out there for 40%, if they do a 60-40 and they're trying to limit
I don't think that happens.
Either do I, but it wouldn't surprise me if it happens early on here and they kind of ease things. McCaffrey could maybe they just utilize him in the passing game. Maybe they don't put the trust in Jennings' health and Pearsall yet, and they just utilize in the passing game McCaffrey and Kittle, and Brian Robinson actually ends up with more carries. Like Brian Robinson could have 15, 16 carries, and McCaffrey has 13, but McCaffrey has 8 targets and catches 7 of them.
Mm-hmm. I don't see Robinson being out there much. I think it's going to be like an 80-20 split, to be honest. I think it's full blow Christian McCaffrey's workload this year.
And what about from the Seattle side with Charbonnet?
I think Charbonnet's in that second level of flex consideration. If you're doing 2 flex spots, you can look at Zach Charbonnet as like, I can put him in and we'll see what happens week 1. He might 50-50 split, 60-40 Ken Walker, because they got to keep Walker healthy, dude. He's so banged up every year, and he's so good when he's on the field, but he's never on the field. So I think Charbonnet, and with how well he's looked in camp and how high the coaching staff and everyone in that organization is talking about Zach Charbonnet and the steps he's already taken in this offseason, I expect Charbonnet to be out there a lot.
Yeah. And the Seattle success, like I brought up in an episode with the NFC West, like I think this is a playoff team, and it's going to come through this offense running the ball, which is going to be falling onto the backs of both guys, Walker and Charbonnet. And it'll be interesting to see how the Seattle line plays up to par here, see if there are any improvements. Because like I said, if Kubiak can get them to a middle-of-the-road offensive line just based off scheme, Seattle could be better than I have projected. Cooper Kupp, like, you playing him over either of the Niners guys? You're going to put Pearsall and Jennings in over him?
No, give me the 2 Niners guys for sure, especially Pearsall. Pearsall, I'm in on as just like a flex option. I'm really in on Pearsall this week.
Yeah. Where do you have those guys with Jacoby Myers?
Give me Pearsall over Myers. Give me Myers over Jennings.
Okay. I would take both guys over Myers.
Jennings having that calf injury, I would just lean Myers just a little bit healthier.
That's fair. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, I'm not playing him. I just don't think. And if he is more involved than he ends up being, I'm fine taking that L, but I just don't think it gives you a ton of upside week 1.
I got guys that you can play over Cooper Kupp. Like, you don't need to play Cooper Kupp this week. Just find a way out of it. Just see what his involvement is in. Because, like, we've brought up rookie receivers. Torrey Horton's going to be out there on the field. He's going to be the outside. JSN's going to be moving around. We'll see what Cooper Kupp does. I want to see who, like, the 2 receivers are on the field when they do 2 receiver sets. Because JSN and Cooper Kupp both run the bunch in the slot. It's not going to be those 2 guys. I kind of think Torrey Horton's going to be one of those 2 receivers, and I think JSN's going to be the other.
Yeah, that's plausible. But, I mean, the Rams were kind of in the similar boat with Puka and Cooper Kupp, and those guys were both out there for 2 receiver sets. But we'll see. I imagine a little mix of both. Like, I think Kupp will be in on some situations where it's 2, but I think him and Horton will kind of rotate. I think JSN will always be out there. And then just kind of monitor Elijah Arroyo. Maybe he's more involved than we think, but I don't think he's going to be involved early on. But
no, it's going to be AJ Barner.
Yeah, I agree. The tight end position in Seattle, not too exciting, but we shall see, and then definitely monitor how much Torrey Horton plays compared to Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Um, anything else for either team? I don't think so. I think we covered it.
No, yeah, we hit it all for
I
sure.
think we're both going Pierce all over Jennings.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Who wins?
The Niners.
I'm also going San Francisco. Detroit takes on division rival the Green Bay Packers. They travel to Green Bay. The Packers are 2.5-point home favorites, over under of 47.5. You have a start of the week in this game in Jameson Williams. You expect this to be a shootout. Vegas agrees with you. It'll be interesting to see how much Micah Parsons is involved early on. I know he's got this back thing going on, but he plans on playing. Last I heard,
He's taking a shot before the game.
I imagine it'll be limited, and he'll just be playing just designated pass rush him because obviously he's new here. He's not fully involved in the play calling here on defense. They'll just let him pin his ears back and get after Jared Goff. And Green Bay, passing wise, keep an eye on Jaden Reed. He's obviously got this foot thing. He's obviously not going to be on the field in two receiver sets like we brought up in Seattle. It's pretty much a known commodity. That's probably going to be Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs' involvement and Matthew Golden's involvement are something to watch. Like, how much is Matthew Golden involved early on as a rookie? Like, if Romeo Doubs is out there on your waiver wire, pick him up because there's a chance he could just be Green Bay's number one wide receiver at this point. He's got the rapport with Jordan Love. He's not the rookie. Like, early on, it could just be Doubs and maybe Matthew Golden plays his way into that role. But right now, we know Doubs is there. I think Tucker Kraft is the biggest beneficiary of all this unknown. I think he's a good play as well. And obviously, Josh Jacobs, lock him in, RB1 in Green Bay. They want to run the ball. And he's the only back consistent enough to do that. Marshawn Lloyd, he's hurt. He's up.
I was going to say he's hurt.
So it's Emmanuel Wilson, who's not going to be vying for a ton of work outside of Josh Jacobs.
It's Josh Jacobs. He's going to be the workhorse. He's going to be so good all season. I'm so excited for Josh Jacobs' workload now with Parsons there. They're going to be running the clock out late now. I think Josh Jacobs is a running back one almost every single week going forward.
Yeah, he's going to.
I love pretty much everyone in this game minus Jaden Reed. He's like my big question mark guy.
Yeah. And I like Jordan Love. I think he's a top 12 play this week, but I think you can move around that. Like, I would play him over Purdy. I'd play him over Goff. Like, I'd play him over Stroud. I would take Drake May over him, though. But, like, there's ways out of playing Jordan Love, but I still think he could be a low-end QB1, but he could also fall into that 15 range, kind of clumped up with, like, Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray and all those guys.
Yeah, for sure. If the touchdowns don't go his way and they go Josh Jacobs' way, that's just the beneficiary of being a passing quarterback or a rushing quarterback. It's you don't get the touchdowns, they go to the running backs. The same thing with Jared Goff. It's almost the same exact thing.
And Detroit, Gibbs, locked in your lineup. Amon-Ra St. Brown, locked in your lineup. Sam Laporta, unfortunately, is probably locked in your lineup, but that is an unknown because he could be the fifth option. He could be the second option. We never know how the game folds out here for Detroit. Jameson Williams, your play of the week. I'm locking him in as well. I think he is wide receiver 2 upside. Like, I'm playing him over both Niners guys. I'm playing him over both Cardinals guys. I would play him over Marv. I meant to say both Colts guys.
Probably.
I would probably play him over McLaren. Like, I think he's a top 15 play this week, so I think that's a great pull for you for the plays of the week. Really, it's David Montgomery. Like, you're probably playing him, but it'll be interesting to see how the new offensive coordinator kind of utilizes the running back scheme here. Because we don't know, and he's made it, out that he wants to stretch the field more. So downfield stuff, which favors JMO. Isaac Tasla, another name to monitor, see how much he's on the field in 3 receiver sets, or if they play Gibbs on the 3 receiver sets and play him out of the slot or on the outside with Montgomery out there. But you're going to play Montgomery, but he's probably like a low-end RB2. Like, I don't think he gives you a ton of upside unless he scores 2 touchdowns. But Gibbs, JMO, Amon-Ra, I think, are 3 locks. Sam Laporta is really the big question mark. I personally not comfortable playing him, but I get having to play him because you probably drafted him in the 5th or 6th round, and he's the only tight end on your roster.
Yeah, no, people drafted Laporta, and you got to start him. That's the way you drafted him. It's unfortunate because teams drafted him way too early, but if you drafted him, you obviously believe in him. So just start him. It's fine. It's going to be a shootout. He could end up in the end zone.
Yeah, like I'd rather play Tucker Kraft. Like I would put Tucker Kraft in over Sam Laporta if I had to pick one of them. I would also play Tyler Warren over Sam Laporta just because I think there's a better chance that they're utilized, whereas Laporta has so many other mouths around him that it could muck his situation.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I would agree for sure.
Anyone else?
No, I don't think so, dog.
I don't think so. Who wins?
Seems about right. Oh God, give me Detroit.
I'm gonna go with the Packers here at home. Houston Texans travel to LA. They take on the Rams. Rams are 3-point home favorites over under 43.5. Matt Stafford, he's playing. Who knows how healthy that back is? Only he and the Rams truly know.
I don't even know if the Rams know.
Yeah, but he's out there, so I'm playing Cooper Kupp. I'm playing Puka Nacua. I'm playing Devontae Adams.
Yep.
With no questions. Kyren Williams, I think, is a fine play. Tough defense in Houston. Like, I don't know if Kyren Williams is an RB1 this week. He might fall more into the
borderline
13 to 17 range, but you're not going to put him on your bench because, Kyren Williams, you drafted him third round. He's probably an RB2 on your team. Or if you punted the position, he's your RB1, and that's a comfortable play, even though I don't see him as a top 12 guy this week. But he's going to get the workload. I don't expect Corum or Jarquez Hunter to be eaten in anything for Kyren Williams.
No, I would think there's a good amount of teams that Kyren's probably their running back one. He was drafted in the third. If they want receiver heavy, round 1, round 2, Kyren round 3. He's a borderline RB1. I don't think he's going to finish top 12 this week with the Houston matchup, but anywhere between 10 and 14, I think, is where he's going to finish.
Okay, so yeah, you have Kyren a little bit more upside than I do, but again, not enough to shy away from or be worried. None of the tight ends in LA messing with Matt Stafford as well. I would hold him into a lower regard than the rest of these guys. And then we got the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, who was the disappointment last year for fantasy. I don't think he gives you a ton of upside. I think this is going to be a defensive game. So I'm kind of shying away from him, but I'm obviously playing Nico Collins. He was drafted likely in the first 2 rounds, except in our home league. He somehow made it to you in the third.
Would you start CJ or Matt Stafford?
I would start C.J. Stroud. Matt Stafford might be like the last ranked quarterback for me this week. That's not
just
true.
because of his back. Ward. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I would probably honestly take the flyer on Cam Ward over Stafford, dude.
That's true. Yeah, there could be garbage time for Cam Ward, whereas the Rams, like I said, I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest. But Nico Collins, you're going to play him. Christian Kirk, maybe. But
he popped up on the injury report today, so I'm kind of veering away from Christian Kirk.
Yeah, that would be just a desperation play anyways. It's really for Houston, how you feeling about that backfield? I'm not playing Nick Chubb. I would play both Cleveland guys before playing a Houston running back.
I agree. I would take the chance on almost every other team's running back over Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you got to let it play out because I don't even know if it's going to be Nick Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. Pierce. It could easily be Pierce. It could be Woody Marks. It could be all 3 of them.
It's another situation to watch.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I absolutely agree there. And then Dalton Schultz, no thank you. I hold him in the same boat as the 2 Rams tight ends. I'm not messing around with
them. I was wondering what tight end you were going to say, and I'm like, I don't think there's a tight end I would have ranked under Dalton Schultz at this point. And then you mentioned the Rams, which is, it's Tyler Higbee, which is right there with Dalton Schultz.
It's those guys, yep. Bottom of the tight end barrel, for sure.
A.J. Barter, right there with these guys.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, this is an easy game to play. You're playing, the 2 Rams receivers, you're playing Kyren, and you're playing Nico Collins. And if you have to, if you drafted Nick Chubb, you clearly believe in him as the starter. You play him, but I don't believe in him. I'd be pivoting elsewhere. Like I think Dameon Pierce or Woody Marks ends up taking over this backfield at some point. Like I'd be stashing one of those guys and not be playing Nick Chubb.
I just think it's a combination of honestly all of them. I think they're all just going to have their own carved out spot in this offense.
Yeah,
until Joe Mixon comes back. If Joe Mixon comes
back.
Yeah. Yep. So
yeah,
it's not going to be fun.
The problem is with that, like, it could be a 3-headed system, and even if it's 2, I just don't think they're as effective as like the Jaguars' 2 running backs in Bixby and ETN.
No.
I just don't think. I just think the Houston rushing attack is going to be very ineffective this year, and it's going to put a lot on CJ Stroud. So we'll see how that plays out for Houston going forward.
Hopefully, the offensive line can keep him up, dude.
That's the question there. Where are you going on this one, Houston or LA?
Give me LA because Stafford's good to go.
Yep. I'm also taking the Rams. I'm going to lean coaching Sean McVay, one of, if not, a top 3 head coach in football. Sunday Night Football. Baltimore Ravens travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Ravens are 1.5-point road favorites on Sunday night. An over-under of 50.5.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah. This one's easy. You're starting Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Those are no-brainers. Mark Andrews, your start of the week. Good play. Isaiah Likely not there. He's the red zone guy. We brought that up. I think Mark Andrews is a tight end 1 this week, even though I've been out on Andrews throughout the process. Without Likely there, he is the trustworthy piece in the red zone. Derrick Henry, you drafted him in the first round, maybe the second. He's your RB1 most likely. You're not going to shy away from him, even in a situation where Baltimore could be down. It could be more Justice Hill, but if you bench Derrick Henry, you're a madman.
Crazy.
Zay Flowers, I think, is a good flex play. I take him over like Terry McLaurin. I would go Judy over him, but like I hold him in that same regard. He's going to get his share. He's going to be the target getter at the wide receiver position. Bateman, I get taking the shot on him. High over under. There's going to be a ton of points scored here, projected wise. So like Bateman does have some spicy. If you need like the big shot play, go for it. But like I would take the shot on Tillman over Bateman.
Him or Keon Coleman, same game.
I'm going to go Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman's going to come out and be the one for this team early on, maybe all year.
I hope so, dude.
Yeah, especially because Shakir's been kind of banged up off and on throughout the offseason. But I get taking the shot on Bateman, and that's it for Baltimore. Like Isaiah Likely's not there, so we don't have to worry about him. And the third receiver in Baltimore has never been anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, Mari doesn't use that many receivers. It doesn't go that deep.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Baltimore is pretty set in stone.
And then Buffalo, same situation. James Cook, fine play. Put him in. And then Dalton Kincaid. I'm playing Kyle Pitts over him. I would probably take the shot at Colston Loveland on Monday night over him. Like I'd take Hunter Henry.
I think I'm almost out on
Kincaid
and Loveland. We'll get the Loveland as well. Week 1, though, the Bills have already come out and said Kincaid's workload's not going to change. It's going to be exactly like it was last year. Him and Dawson Knox are splitting the exact same reps.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Exactly. It's not going to be it for Kincaid.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the shot on Keon Coleman like you brought up. I think there's a world where Keon Coleman is a top 20 play this week if you want to get real spicy. I think he's a good play. Khalil Shakir's fine. Good floor play. Yeah, he's going to get 6 to 7 catches, potentially, 8 to 9 targets. Maybe he squeezes a touchdown in there, but I think I'd rather take my shot on Coleman over Shakir just based on the upside. Similar receiving rooms here in Baltimore, Buffalo. Because that's it. Who's the Bills' 3?
Palmer or
okay.
Gabe Davis. Gabe
Davis is on the practice squad, so I doubt he plays. Josh Palmer, I watch, I guess. Keep an eye on it. Maybe he's more involved than we expect.
Good.
I love Josh Palmer, but I don't think there's a world where he plays more than 60% of the snaps.
No, I still think that's generous. I think it's at most 50.
How do you feel about James Cook?
James
Cook or what about him or Kyron Williams?
Give me
Who
Kyron.
do you think's better play? Okay, I
This
would go
week,
James
give
Cook,
me Kyron.
actually. Okay. I lean the opposite direction. I would take Cook over Kyron. Who wins week 1? I don't think there's anyone else to talk about here Sunday night. It's going to be a great game.
I got the Bills going to the Super Bowl, so I'll go Buffalo.
Okay. I'm leaning the opposite. I also had the Bills going and winning the Super Bowl, but I think Baltimore pulls off the week 1 win here on the road. Road favorites, which is surprising.
Not even a road upset. It's,
Yeah. All right, Monday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings go to Chicago, take on division rival the Chicago Bears. The Vikings are 1.5-point road favorites on Monday night.
Yep.
J.J. McCarthy, your start of the week. I like it. I think he kind of falls in that same bucket of that into that 10 to 16 range with Kyler and Justin Herbert and all those guys, even Drake May, Brock Purdy, Justin Jefferson, lock him in. Adam Thielen, good flex play. No Jordan Addison out there. TJ Hawkinson, you're going to play him. It's really the Minnesota Vikings running game and how you feel about that. I think both Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason are in play here.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, I would be a little more confident in because I would want to see how Jordan Mason's used, but I have Jordan Mason over like Zach Charbonnet, guys like that. I think Jordan Mason's a good flex guy, a number 2 flex guy.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me if Jordan Mason ends up leading the team in rushing week 1, but Aaron Jones, obviously, he's going to be
has a bunch of catches.
Jordan Mason, like this could be the better version of ETN Bigsby, where Mason plays the role where he's just eating up all the groundwork, and Aaron Jones does a little bit of both. And Chicago, Caleb Williams, again, kind of same boat. I'd hold him in a lower tier than like McCarthy and Herbert and all of them. Like he would be
for sure
closer to the like 15 to 20 range than the 12 to 15 range.
I would have him closer to like Tua and CJ Stroud, guys like that.
Yeah, I would take him over those guys. I think he has a little bit more upside. Like I would hold him in the same range as like Justin Fields.
Oh, see, I would take those guys over Fields. So,
okay, yeah, you did say that. DeAndre Swift, tough to run on Minnesota.
I'm so in on Swift, dude.
You play him like this is his backfield. Like Roschon Johnson's just ineffective. Kyle Monungai's a rookie, so who knows how involved he is.
I think this whole offseason, we as fantasy people have just spent like, who's gonna be Ben Johnson's number 2 running back? Is it gonna be Roschon? Is it gonna be Monungai? I really don't care who it is because Swift, at the end of the day, is the most talented running back in this room.
Do you want to know who the number 2 running back is going to be in Chicago? It's gonna be DJ Moore.
Yeesh. I think it's gonna be Swift. I think Swift is going to just be used so much in his offense. Yeah. I am so high on Swift right now.
Yeah, I think Swift's fine. He'll eat PPR stuff, but like it wouldn't surprise me if DJ Moore ends up as like the more like plays the Gibbs role per se and kind of used in passing situations out of the backfield, and that way it gets Luther Burden and Roma Dunze and all these other weapons on the field. Like, and he's been taking snaps in the backfield. He's run the ball before, so really it's just in Chicago. Like we think it's Swift's backfield. We don't think the other guys are going to eat into that. It's figuring out the passing game. It's a loaded room. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden.
Cole Kmet.
So that is, Cole Kmet's still there. So Alameda Zacchaeus, he's listed as like the third receiver on the depth chart.
He's listed over Burden right now on that chart.
Let's not forget him either.
Yep.
So crowded room. You could pass on the Vikings if we're basing this off last year. The Vikings didn't do a ton to fix the corner room. So keep an eye on it. I would play DJ Moore if I had to pick one of them, but I think Roma Dunze has good upside. I like Burden as a stash on the bench. Loveland you could throw in, but I'd rather have him on my bench and monitor how much he's used. I think he's more effective towards the middle and end of the year for you when it matters. I don't think he's going to do too much early on as he gets acclimated to the NFL. So I would lean DJ Moore, plus he has the rushing upside. Like I said, he's been used in the backfield, but yeah, keep an eye on how the target share shapes out here in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm cool starting Moore and Rome. I think both those guys have upside. Yeah. Other than that, though, I'm not looking at any other pass catcher. I'm not looking at Rome or Zacchaeus.
You mean Burden?
Oh, yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, I said wrong. I'm looking at their little depth chart here. Colston Loveland, I'm out. I think Cole Kmet's going to play more snaps week 1, 2, 3. I think it's going to take time for him to be out there. So, yeah, it's essentially just DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Swift. Those guys I'm really in on. Everyone else, I'm kind of just letting the offense play out, see how it falls week 1.
All right. Who walks out on Monday night? First career start for J.J. McCarthy. Caleb Williams, first start under Ben Johnson as head coach.
Give me Minnesota.
Primetime football. Yeah, me too. I'm obviously going to pick my team. I think it's going to be an exciting time.
Hey,
I think it's going to be a really good football game.
I did not pick my team.
Yes, I picked your team though.
You did. You did. You picked both our teams.
I think the primetime games lined up really nicely week 1 here.
For
Minnesota, Chicago, Baltimore, Buffalo. The Thursday game between Philly, Dallas,
the Friday night
Chiefs,
game. I love that.
Chargers.
Thursday night game, division, Philly, Dallas. Come on, dude. What a great opener.
Yeah.
Primetime games cooked.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Long episode this week as we ran
long
through
and exhausting, baby.
These games, yeah. These get shorter. That's the only time I enjoy bye weeks is when they cut the games down by like 3 or 4 games.
16 games is rough,
nice.
especially when we're doing most of them because it's the Thursday and Friday. We're running 14 games.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man, for sure.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it. Drafted Up Podcast. Like I said, you know where to find us. Like, rate, subscribe, review. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you watch the show. Just search Drafted Up.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be there. We'll catch you guys here Tuesday with some recaps of all these games.
Week 1 recap,
book,
baby. It'll be in the books. Everyone, enjoy week 1. We're here. Feast. Enjoy Sunday. Relax. We're in the house
dubs.
of football, baby. Eat those dubs.
Get those dubs. Yeah. All
Hopefully
right.
your team gets
we'll
the
see
win.
you guys.
1-0 is way better
Adios.
than 0-1. Bye.
Yeah, but don't beat yourself up if you start 0-1. Season's long.
Oh yeah, you got 17 games.
Yeah.
You good?
Bye, guys.
Bye.